Hey, PopRockers, how are you? Hey, just before we get into our next interview, just want to make a special mention. This is video 100 from Pop Rock Radio. That's 100 videos, long form and short form videos that we've been able to bring to you from artists and musicians from all around Australia. So we just like to take this opportunity to say thank you very much. Thanks for the support, and see you in the next 200. 300, 400, maybe 500. We'll see. Take care. Good morning, Ollie. How are you going today?
Good, thanks, man. How are you?
Yeah, doing really well. Now, for anyone who doesn't know or skipped the intro,
Mhm.
um, Oliver Northam, that's you,
Yeah,
the man behind the Elsewheres and the new single "Run Away with Me."
that's us. Yes.
Cool. We've got lots of questions.
Fantastic. Fire away.
All right, first one. We'll obviously start with "Run Away with Me." Tell us all about it.
Yeah, well, so Run Away With Me is an interesting track for me because I actually wrote the original version of it back in high school.
Yep.
When I was in like year 10, I had my dad's old 16-track recorder and he lent me some of his guitars and I just set up in my room and started recording stuff when I first got into songwriting.
Yep.
And Run Away With Me was one of the earliest creations that came to me. And over the years, I mean, it's been 8 years or so
Yep.
since then, and we took the chorus from that original version, and I just loved it, and I never forgot
Yep.
about it, and I started to rework it a few years later, and eventually it became this sort of country version almost that it
Yep.
is. It used to be a sort of synthy pop kind of
Yep.
thing, which is quite embarrassing to be honest. But
And now it's got like a big band sound. It's got trumpets and
yeah, it's got a
yes.
full brass section,
Yep.
backing vocals, electric guitar, drums, bass, the whole lot.
Yep.
Yeah. It was actually the first track that we ever played as a band as
Yep.
well. I remember when Ned plays guitar and
Yep.
Ruben plays drums. We were the sort of stock rhythm section back at
Yep.
uni, and so we found ourselves in a whole bunch of different recording rooms and rehearsal rooms, and we were just sitting about waiting for the rest of the people to come in for the rehearsal and we had exams coming up and I said, look, I haven't put a band together for
Yep.
my performance. Um, I just started playing this song and they joined in. And at the end of it, I said, we'll rock up in 2 weeks and play that. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And that was where the Elsewheres were born. So
Well, that's
it's a special song for the band. Yeah.
cool because that's a bit of a segue to one of our other questions or
Mm,
one of our
mm,
other facts, or a
mm,
couple of them actually. You've got a double degree
mm,
of music performance
mm-hmm,
and applied business management.
mm-hmm. Yeah, yes, I do. Yeah.
Wow. That
So I went through the song and piano course over at
Yep.
Collarts, and I really enjoyed it. I think you get out as much as you put in,
Yep.
and then when we got to the end of it, there was two of my friends that we just thought, you know what, it's just an extra year. We've already done some of the subjects. We may as well
Yep.
do this double degree and get some marketing under our belts, some business, some law,
Yep.
some of these things that a lot of artists miss out on.
Yep.
And as a result of that, I was able to do all of the media servicing and like really run the very first release
Yep.
back in 2019 for our first single, Into His Arms. And I had a lot of fun, and it taught me a lot of skills that have been helpful even now. And I think you hear a lot about artists, getting mucked about
Yep.
by promoters or managers or whatever it is, and you can see through it now
Yep.
because I know what it is that you're supposed to do because I
Yep.
sort of know how to do it. I just don't maybe have the same
Yeah.
experience, and it's really helped cut through all of that as
Well, that's
well.
good to hear.
Yeah.
Um, so who's who in the band?
Well, we have a big band.
Yep.
So Ruben Maskell on the drums. He's been with me since the very beginning. A
Yep.
really good mate of mine. We have Alyssa Jade, who's just joined us just late last year on bass.
Yep.
Then we have Ned Morris on guitar. Once again, he was
Yep.
in that very first rehearsal room with me. And then probably the next edition was Dylan Hamilton, who is one of my absolute best
Yep.
mates in the world, right-hand man as far as all of the music decision-making goes. And he plays sax and
Yep.
does backing vocals. We actually run a bit of a duo situation as well when
Yep.
venues can't fit all 8 of us in.
Yeah.
Dermot O'Brien on trombone, Billy Exton on sax as well,
Yep.
a little bit of vocals as well, and latest addition is Grace Phillips on vocals on
Yep.
harmonies.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool. So it's a
I've not missed anyone, have I? Ruben, Alyssa, Ned, Dermot, Billy, Dylan, and myself, and Grace. Yeah, that's
all
all
right.
of us. Yeah.
If you need an egg player. Hey, Pop Rockers, sorry for the interruption. But if you like what we're doing and you enjoy us bringing you indie music and interviews, simply head to poprockradio.com.au and you can buy us a coffee. Follow the links through to buy me a coffee. Cheap from as little as $2, you can help support us bring you new indie music, new videos, and 3 radio stations: Pop Rock Radio, Pop Rock Nation, and Pop Rock Country. Cheers. I've put it out there to
Actually,
a few people.
actually, I will say Grace does do some egg shaker and tambo and stuff as well. So that you'll maybe triangle. We don't have a triangle player yet, so if you're good
Yep.
at
I'll have to pick one up. I have to get one somewhere.
that,
All right, so that's 7 questions out the way. Now,
Mm,
I was reading something about you.
mm.
Um, you lost your hearing at 15 when you were 15 years old.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was a scary experience.
Yep,
Nowadays, so when it happened initially, it was the start of year 10.
yep,
So funnily enough, before I wrote Run Away With Me. But yeah, I woke up one day and I was completely deaf.
yep,
Uh, I didn't realize initially because I just woken up. I didn't,
yep,
you're not sort of aware of what's
yep,
going on. Anyway, mum comes in, getting ready because it was the end of the holidays and she was getting me ready for, I think it was the first day of school. And
yep,
she said, you know, she's saying, get ready. I don't know what she said, but I think she said, you get ready for school, there's breakfast, da,
yep,
da, da. And she's talking to me and just like, her mouth's moving and there's no sound coming
yep,
out. And I'm like, Mum, what the hell are you talking about? What are you doing?
yep,
And then I couldn't hear my own voice. And I mean, you can kind of feel the
yeah,
resonance, but
yep,
I was like, oh, what's going on
yep,
here? And it was really, really freaky. I lost, it messed with my inner ear, like my balance and stuff
yep,
went off. I couldn't stand without feeling like the whole world was on its side,
yep.
like on an angle. And so I rushed to the hospital, was admitted for a week and a half, a course of steroids, and I can't really remember too much else. Sort of blocked it out a bit, but
Yep,
it wasn't a particularly harrowing experience once we got to the hospital because
yep,
my left ear came back within a day,
yep.
and my right ear is still deaf. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah.
It's amazing.
So there you go. One day I'll save up for a cochlear implant or
Yeah.
something like that and see if that maybe fixes the problem. But
Well,
yeah,
I'm glad it didn't affect your music making abilities.
oh, me too. Yeah, no, it's very very fortunate. Yeah, my
Yep,
dad is also a musician, and every
yep,
appointment that we went into, he would say, "Oh, look, this is really important. Ollie's a
yep,
musician," and stuff like that. And I was like,
yep.
yeah, so it was quite freaky. It was quite
It
freaky.
it
Mm.
would be concerning. It would be, awful. It's,
Yeah, because already at that point, I mean, I was not necessarily thinking about whether or not I was going to
yeah,
pursue a band situation, but I had been playing piano since the age of 5, so I always knew that music
yep,
was going to be my life. So the prospect of it suddenly maybe not being a possibility was
yep.
was
But
was, was terrifying. Mm,
being deaf
mm.
is one of the worst disabilities. that you could have.
It would,
I
yeah.
I know, some people who are deaf, and it's
Mm,
really hard for them to, you know, to get anything done, or like, obviously, it's so hard for them. Like, you go into a bank, we can go to a bank and we can talk to a bank manager and we can have a conversation.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
These guys can't. They can't. Like, you're standing on a road on an intersection, you can't,
yeah.
and you can't go to venues and listen to good bands.
Yes,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
so
think
it's,
just, I mean, I don't know, it would be a terrible thing for anybody,
yep,
but especially just for, to not be able to hear music would be,
yep. And one of the strange things is, well, not really strange, one of the horrible things about
mm,
it is, um, suicide rates in deaf people is much higher than
mm.
anyone else.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's a strange fact, and they're one of the
Mm.
most least represented disabilities you know, out of all the disabilities, it's the least represented one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Anyway,
really interesting. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
glad you've made me aware of that actually.
so 'cause when I
Yeah.
read it, when it said you'd lost your hearing, and I was 'cause it
Mm,
didn't say if you had your hearing back in your right ear or not, because
mm,
it's
mm.
yeah, yeah, it's one of them things you don't get back. Is what I tell my kids when they got the headphones on really loud, I said, "Turn it down." So
Yes.
once it's
Yeah,
gone, you don't
yeah.
get it back.
Yeah, yeah, you've gotta take care of your ear. I mean, I'm now very careful with my good ear. I
Yeah,
always have,
yeah,
earplugs and things like that at shows, festivals, yeah.
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 Did they say what was wrong? What caused it?
It's called, sudden sensory neural hearing loss, which
Yeah,
is a sort of fancy term for we're not quite sure.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, yeah, it's the theory is that it's some damage to the hairs on the
yeah.
lining of the cochlea.
Oh, yeah,
So that's why I said a cochlear implant might solve the
yeah.
problem. But
Excuse
you
me.
know, without doing some sort of invasive surgery,
Yep,
it's kind of hard to know. Yeah.
cool. How do you prepare for writing a song? Now, because this
Mm,
question is a um, bit iffy because
mm,
you in the notes, it says, um no, I should have written this word down. Improvision.
mm,
You're a you can improvise music on the spot pretty much.
mm. I
So
mean, that's yeah.
how do you, like, so I'm gonna go sit down and write a song, you could just go,
Yeah, well, I mean, it sort of depends on the context. Improvising is essentially what I and composition is what I do for a living.
"Yep,
I work at the Australian Ballet School playing piano,
yep,
and in the context of that environment, I have to look at a dance and virtually
yep,
instantly make a piece of music that's going to fit that.
yep,
And sometimes I compose in advance, but for the most part, I'm improvising on the spot. So when it comes to songwriting, that's a very handy tool because
yep,
I can begin by going, well, I can play this and that sounds quite nice. I'll take that melody, maybe I'll put some lyrics over that.
yep,
But having said that, more commonly, how it begins for songwriting for me, over the years, I've sort of developed my creative process,
yep,
and written a lot of material, and that has given me the opportunity to not be so stressed about writing the next song because already, I
yep,
mean, we have this single that's just been released, "Run Away with Me," and we have another single coming out very soon as well. But I've got, you know, half a dozen songs locked and loaded that we
yep,
haven't even recorded yet. So just that
yep,
release of pressure is a great starting spot.
yep.
Uh,
So, any EPs or anything on the horizon if you got all them songs ready to go?
you'll have to wait to find out about that one.
Cool.
But yeah, we have another single that's coming out on the 7th of July.
Yep. Has it got a similar sound to Run Away With Me?
Yeah, yeah, it does have a similar sound. It's not quite as
Yep,
high energy, and it's a much more sort of emotional narrative.
yep,
But yeah, in a similar world for sure. But yeah, as far as
yep,
songwriting goes, it's really what do I want to say? The story is the
yep,
most important thing for me. What do I want to say?
yep,
And then how can I use my tools to best convey that story?
yep,
And the improvising helps because that means that I always have material to throw into the mix when
yep.
I'm sort of creating. Yeah.
Cool. So when you finally get to an EP or an
Mm.
album, are you gonna release it on vinyl?
Yes.
'Cause that would sound I reckon Run Away With Me would sound wicked on vinyl.
Well, I can tell you right now, we're gonna have that on vinyl. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
gonna be wicked. That's
That's
awesome.
a little secret for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Alright, do you have any superstitions or anything before you perform, alright?
Any superstitions? I what I will say, I like the idea of superstitions. I'm
Yep,
not a particularly superstitious person myself. I think I have things that make me feel more confident. So, I mean,
yep,
I have my rings, which I really like. I love this jumper. On the off occasion, I
yep,
do have a pair of underwear that I do sort of prefer just because it has seahorses on it. Um,
yep,
but, yeah, there's no sort of thing like I can't go on stage unless I've done XYZ.
yep,
Yeah, as
yep,
long as I've got the bandmates around me, and we have a little debrief and we, sort of rally
yep,
together. It's a little bit like but going before you go onto the football field, honestly.
yep.
Yeah.
Well, I recently spoke to the guys at Moth Street Artists,
Mm,
which are an indie folk rock band over here in
right.
WA, and they have 5 different
Mm.
personalities, and they all, do their own different
Yep.
things. How is it with 8 people in the band?
Yeah, yeah, it's a question we get a lot because, of course, yeah, or just the logistics alone,
Yep.
are boggling. Uh, everyone
Any divas?
no. No, uh,
Because if I come and join you as a triangle
mm.
player, I've got
Yeah, I
demands.
bet you do. It's a crucial role, the triangle, so we would have to
Mm.
meet those demands, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But no, everyone in the band, yes, has very much their own personality, brings their own flavor, brings their own energy
Yep,
into the room, and it's really fantastic. Like we have some who are, really driven, what like let's
yep,
nut this out, let's do this. Others that are really laid back, just keen to go with the flow. Everyone just is totally free to chuck in their
yep,
ideas at any point. Even though I am the songwriter and I guess the band leader, I
yep,
really try and I want it to be a family, and it is a family.
yeah.
Um,
That's good.
so yeah, yeah, but no divas, no
Cool.
divas.
Yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Hey, we're gonna do one of our little things
Mhm,
we do. It's called Get to Know. So in this case, excuse me, get to know
mhm.
Ollie. 10 questions that, you probably won't be asked by another
Okay.
adult, but it gives us a little bit of an insight into who you
Mhm.
are. So you can pass.
Okay.
Until recently, we didn't have any. We only had 1 pass,
Mhm.
but spoke to someone a couple of days ago, and they passed on 2 or 3 of their questions. It was like, "Ooh,
Alrighty. Well, we'll see how we go.
yeah."
I'm pretty open. I'm feeling confident that I can answer your
Alright,
questions. Let's go.
cool. We'll start with, a
Mm.
hard one. Your favorite milkshake flavor?
It's a bit boring, but it's vanilla. It is vanilla.
Vanilla? No?
Mm.
Cool. Name a song that always makes you sing along.
T Can I say 2? "If I Had a Boat" by Lyle
Yeah.
Lovett. I love that
Yep.
song, and "Rivers" by Passenger. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think I'm about 12 years too late. I'm getting into Samantha Jade, and I'm like, "Man, that was 12 years ago, 10
Yeah.
years ago." I'm like, "What's going on?"
Even I
Um,
mean, I love Dylan and, like, Rolling Stones and Led
yep.
Zeppelin and some of those old stuff. I have to say I'm a little bit out of touch as far as the real, pop
Yeah.
scene at the
Well,
moment.
the beauty about music is your taste can rotate.
Mm.
Like, in a couple of weeks ago, a few months back, I was getting into some really good screamo
Oh,
music,
really?
and
Yeah,
then
yeah. Yeah,
and now I'm
I've
yeah.
never been able
Mm,
to my Dylan, sax player, he's
yep.
into to heavier stuff like that. I've just never quite it's never connected with me for some reason. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I'm getting dragged into country and folk music
Mm.
now because we just started off our 3rd radio station, Pop Rock Nation, which is just all Pop Rock Country, sorry, which is all country and
Oh,
folk
cool.
music, and I leave that to other people to manage,
Mm.
but yeah, I got dragged into it because there was just so much of it going
There
around. There's hardly any pop music, it's all country and
yeah, a lot of
folk music
acoustic
coming out, which
stuff.
is good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep. It's good
Mm.
music too. So, fill in the
Mhm.
gap. I can't live without
Piano.
piano. Yep. Your all-time favorite movie?
Or Porco Rosso. It's a Ghibli film.
Yep.
Mhm.
Who is your biggest fan, mum or dad?
Pretty equal. I'll say dad because he came through the music business
Yep.
and has always given me instruments and support and feedback. Yeah.
Yep. But your mum was in your music video
Well,
clip
exactly.
for.
No, mum is just as much there. She doesn't have the music
Yep.
knowledge, so in that area she can't really support. But she's always drove me to performances and
Yep.
obviously paid for piano lessons
Yeah.
and things like that. So I mean, it's a tie.
Yeah. But your dad helped out with the video clip as well, didn't
He
he?
was behind the scenes. Yeah, the unsung hero,
Yep.
honestly, Dad was. He went and got the lunch, and he was there in the rain with his
Yep.
wellies and his umbrella, trying to say, like, "Do you need anything? I can go get this. I can go that." Fantastic. Mm.
It's good having parents that like enjoy getting involved with what you're
Yeah,
doing. So, but we'll have the video clip at the end of this video, so people can actually have a
fantastic. Yeah,
watch of it.
Mum's cameo is priceless. Watching it being filmed. We were just sitting on the couch, just watching it. It
Yep.
was, try to make her laugh so that she to mess up her take. Mm.
Hey, pick one of
Mhm.
these: um, international roast or blend 43 coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
There you go. That's easy. My something got me into trouble.
Sorry, say again?
My something
Mm,
got me into trouble.
my hearing. Yeah, because
Yep.
I mishear things. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the things, if you ever get a hearing test, is they lock you in this booth, and it's like a
Yeah.
vault. It's literally they have like the turning vault, and it's a
Yep.
soundproof thing, and you're in there for 15 minutes, and they put earbuds in your ears, and they'll just put a whole bunch of different sounds. And one of the things is they play words to you, and you have to try and say what they are.
Yep.
And they'll put wind noise over it, and they'll try and make it as difficult for you as possible. And of
Yep.
course, you get to some words, and I can't hear what they are, but they sound like a rude word. And especially when I
Yeah.
was a kid, I was like, well, that sounds like dick, but I can't say that to the doctor. My parents are in the next room, like, So yeah. I've had situations where I didn't even because it's a bit like these rapid fire questions. You just go like,
Yep.
cat, dog,
Yep.
plane. Oh, and then you say the wrong word. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm.
Okay. If you were a car, what type of car would you be?
Um, Porsche Pelican, 911
Yep.
Porsche. Yeah.
Okay. What is your best feature?
Um, I'll say my laugh.
Yeah. Okay. Without
Mm.
swearing, what is your favorite curse word or phrase?
Um, what is my favorite curse word or phrase? Um, well, I will say it's not quite a curse word, but one of my favorite insults comes from a British show, The Thick of It, and it's "You're a
Yep.
complete omnishambles." Yeah.
Oh, cool. Was it, do you remember Blackadder?
Mm. Oh, yeah. Faulty
Yep.
Towers, Blackadder, Black Books,
Yep.
yeah, all of these, Monty Python, yeah, these are my
Yep.
childhood. Yeah, yeah.
But didn't, Rowan Atkins call Dr. House a fornicating baboon?
That's pretty good too. The British insult like no other. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Cool.
Mm.
Yep. Alright, so let's talk about the Run Away With Me before we finish up
Mhm,
again, because we've taken a few twists and
mhm.
turns. Where was the video shot?
The video shot was in Harcourt. So
Yep.
it's a sleepy little town in rural Victoria, near Bendigo, Castlemaine, just sort of
Yep.
northwest of Melbourne.
Yep.
And it's actually filmed, or most of it is filmed, uh, just on the other side of where our house is in Harcourt.
Yep.
It's all sort of filmed in that area. And I used to play there as a kid. The little
Yep.
stone cottage that Lily and I are eating our cookies on. I used to climb on that and
Yep.
pretend on sword fighting and stuff on that when I was a little kid. And the street that ute drives down is the street to my grandma's place.
Yep. Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, it's riddled with sentimentality.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now it's out now. Was it released on June 7th or 9th?
9th,
9th.
testing
So
me. Yeah.
was out on June 9th. It's on all streaming platforms.
All streaming platforms. Yep.
And
SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, you name it.
Yep, YouTube, you can watch the video clip, which
Mhm.
we'll also have at the end of this, so people can have a quick listen, and we'll have all the links below to all your social media and everything else. So if anyone wants to follow yourself or the elsewhere, they can get the links from below.
Yep.
So thank you very much for taking time out of your day to join us.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for the for putting up with my mucking around this morning with a little emergency and things. So
Oh no, yes, I hope everything's okay. Yeah. No, I'm
yeah,
just very grateful to be here and had a lovely time. It was fantastic questions.
so
Yeah,
is
I
it?
didn't pass on any one of them either.
No, that was good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have you back soon anyway when the EP comes out.
Oh, fantastic. Would love that.
Yep. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Found no peace lying on my bed, noisy devils racing cars through my head. Went down to a smoky bar, topless placed on Highway 61. Tawny hair and steely eyes, out she walked and swept me off my stool. She said, why you wasting all your dimes on a bottle of rum just to pass the time? You could pass it just as easily. Just run away with me. Drowned out past in the morning light and smoked the grass till we couldn't trust a ride. Found ourselves in an old motel with a broken fan and a rusty guitar. String gave way before I played. The rest held true long enough for me to say, oh my dear, I ain't got much. A tank of gas and a weary love. So far my life ain't what I thought it'd be. You sure you wanna run away with me? She leaned back, cracked a smile and looked me up and down. Honey, you don't understand. Life ain't about what you got, but who you have. You may be broken beyond repair, and you ain't got no James Dean head. But I don't mind, 'cause I've been working all my life just to end up some asshole's wife. When all I want is somebody to agree. Stormed into the wedding place, threw the veil from her face. Her eyes shone brighter than I'd seen before. I knew then that I'd struck gold. Oh, I knew then that I'd struck gold. Run away with me. Oh, run away with me. Run away with me. Run away with me. Settled down north of the sea. Lines written on our skin, memories of the places we've been. And I still remember the old motel, that rusty guitar and the wedding bells. The night she pulled me off my seat and said, run away.